मेरा आग्रह है नौजवानों से, विशेष करके छोटे मोटे उद्योगकारों से, दो बातों में कॉम्प्रोमाइज न करें। एक, जीरो डिफेक्ट, दूसरा जीरो इफेक्ट। हम वो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग करें जिसमें जीरो डिफेक्ट हो, ताकि दुनिया के बाजार से कभी वापस ना आए, और हम वो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग करें जिससे जीरो इफेक्ट हो, पर्यावरण पर इसका कोई नेगेटिव इफेक्ट ना हो।
To execute this vision, the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises has launched a scheme called Financial Support to MSMEs in ZED Certification Scheme. The scheme is an extensive drive of the Government of India to enhance global competitiveness of MSMEs by providing them financial support in assessment, rating and hand-holding of its manufacturing processes on quality and environment aspects. Our Honourable Minister, Shri Kalaraj Mishra, who has been instrumental in formalizing this scheme, is pleased to announce this notification, and efforts are being made to integrate relevant schemes of the Ministry with ZED. The Honourable Minister has led the way for executing the vision of Honourable Prime Minister in creating a culture of world-class manufacturing. He urges all stakeholders to join this movement, which will be a game changer for the industry. Our Honourable Minister of State, Shri Giriraj Singh, says that it is time to exponentially scale up our efforts to improve quality of systems and processes in our manufacturing, and ZED is expected to play a crucial role. He solicits the participation of all MSMEs in this scheme and take advantage of this opportunity to move towards a position of eminence in the global marketplace. Shri Haribhai Partibhai Chaudhary, our Honourable Minister of State, says that a planned approach for industrial growth is going to play a major role in the fulfillment of our Prime Minister's vision, and the Zero Defect, Zero Effect Maturity Assessment Model is one such planned approach towards increasing the competitiveness of our MSMEs. Our MSMEs, he says, who are the small giants with their entrepreneurial spirit, are the flag bearers of our economy. He welcomes all entrepreneurs to embark on the journey of ZED. The Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion sanctioned a pilot project to Quality Council of India to test and evolve the ecosystem of ZED Maturity Assessment Model. The pilot project was aimed at providing a platform to test value proposition and reveal deficiencies before the national rollout by Ministry of MSME. Quantitative evidence during the pilot showed that the ZED system has potential to succeed on a full-scale basis. The pilot concluded in January 2016, and the report was released on February 15, 2016, during the Make in India Week at Mumbai. On the successful completion of the pilot project, the Ministry of MSME has notified the ZED scheme for the benefit of 22,222 MSMEs over the next 3 years. The Ministry of MSME, with the help of QCI and other stakeholders, aims to cover more than 1 million MSMEs over the next 5 to 7 years after the value propositions and incentives are in place. The government has decided to implement the ZED certification scheme for 22,222 MSME units with a total budget of 491 crore rupees, including Government of India contribution of 365 crore rupees during the 12th 5-year plan. The scheme intends to encourage MSMEs to inculcate zero defect and zero effect practices in manufacturing processes, ensure continuous improvement, and supporting the Make in India initiative. In order to ensure effective implementation of this scheme, it is important to carry on certain activities at the ground level, such as industry awareness programs, workshops, training and certification of assessors and consultants, creating online systems, and benchmarking with international best practices. The ZED scheme will be implemented nationwide through implementing agencies such as QCI, NPC, industry chambers like CII, FICCI and ASSOCHAM, MSME development institutes, MSME technology centers, industry associations, BEE, etc. This activity will not only help MSMEs in understanding the scheme and its benefits, but will also build capacities through rigorous training of assessors and consultants with the help of master trainers and other experts. The NMIU will also develop an e-modules. Site assessment will be conducted by third-party accredited credit rating agencies, certification bodies and other agencies. The assessments will be carried by ZED-certified assessors of these agencies and will be through handheld tabs with geo-tagging feature. The NMIU will auto-allocate assessments of MSMEs to these agencies and will closely monitor their activities. The gap analysis and hand-holding activity in the scheme will be carried out by accredited third-party consulting organizations and agencies. ZED-certified consultants from these accredited agencies will conduct gap analysis on the site and assist the MSMEs in implementing suggested interventions that will improve their systems and processes and get them higher ZED rating once implemented in its true spirit. The consultants will be auto-allocated to the MSME by the NMIU and will continuously monitor and review the implementation of the suggested interventions for a maximum period of 6 months. The final certification will be issued by Quality Council of India after reviewing the site assessment report. The ZED scheme will be governed by a screening and steering committee which will provide an overall guidance and direction. This committee will be chaired by the Development Commissioner of Ministry of MSME. Quality Council of India, an autonomous body of Ministry of Commerce and Industry, has been nominated as the National Monitoring and Implementing Unit, and under the guidance of the SSC, it will facilitate the implementation of the scheme and monitor all activities of all implementation units, rating and other agencies involved in assessment and the consulting bodies involved in hand-holding. The NMIU will also coordinate with the MSMEs for a smooth deployment of activities related to them. A certification based on the rating obtained by an MSME's manufacturing unit after a site assessment of the systems and processes based on the ZED Maturity Assessment Model. The model comprises of 50 parameters that includes 20 mandatory parameters. The MSME has to choose a minimum of 10 additional parameters for the assessment process. If an MSME is a supplier to the defense sector and wishes to be certified under ZED Defense Model, then there will be an additional assessment on the ZED Defense Model comprising of 25 parameters. Each parameter has 5 maturity levels. Each level corresponds to the existing state of systems and processes in the manufacturing unit that is being assessed. These levels range from struggler, which is level 1, to beginner, organized, and achiever that correspond to level 2, 3 and 4 respectively. The topmost level is World Class at level 5. The score obtained is a weighted average of the marks obtained on each parameter. If the MSME's score is above 2.2 and up to 2.5, then the rating provided is Bronze. If the MSME's score is above 2.5 and up to 3.0, then the rating is Silver. Above 3 and up to 3.5, then the rating is Gold. Above 3.5 and up to 4, then the rating is Diamond. And if the MSME's score is above 4 and up to 5, then the rating is Platinum, which is benchmarked with world-class standards. In case an MSME scores 2.2 or lower, then no rating is provided. For example, after the site assessment, if the weighted average score obtained by the MSME is 78 on 30 parameters, then the average weighted score is 78 divided by 30, which equals 2.60. This score corresponds to the rating of Silver in the ZED rating scale. It is important to be noted that the MSME shall have a policy of no tolerance for any non-compliance with statutory and regulatory requirements related to product quality, environment and safety. A mature organization shall have a dynamic system of identifying new regulatory requirements, regularly performing compliance audits and checks that are reviewed and monitored by the board or equivalent. An MSME will not be eligible to go for ZED certification if the legal and regulatory compliances are not followed. ZED Maturity Assessment Model will evaluate an MSME's manufacturing unit on process-based enablers and performance-based outcome parameters at the operational level. ZED Maturity Assessment Model is an integrated and holistic certification system which accounts for processes related to production management, quality management, design management, safety management, environmental management, energy management, natural resource management, human resource management, intellectual property management, and performance management. MSME, which is involved in the defense manufacturing and wishes to get certified, will have to undergo additional assessment on ZED defense parameters. It may be noted that MSMEs who wish to be assessed on the defense parameters will first be assessed on the 50 ZED parameters. The additional 25 defense parameters will focus on the following disciplines. 1. Defense outreach. 2. Technology specific to defense. 3. Risk assessment. 4. Defense quality systems. 5. Financial discipline. 6. Security, safety and confidentiality. 7. Post-delivery and customer feedback. 8. Design discipline. Let us understand the assessment levels on the above enablers and outcome with a few examples. Systems for abatement of effluent, emission and solid waste. This parameter comes under the enabler of process design for environmental management and assesses the design plant and equipment and processes as an integral part of manufacturing or service delivery systems so as to eliminate, reduce, treat or dispose effluents, emissions and solid wastes. For example, if the manufacturing unit has no system of proactive checking of compliances, it reacts to complaints and fixes problems as and when they occur, then it will be marked on level 1, which is struggler. If the unit's system is in place for periodic check of environmental compliances, but no action undertaken on variances, then the unit is marked on level 2, which is the beginner. if the unit's system is in place for periodic checking of environmental compliances and 50% to 70% action is undertaken on variances, then the unit is marked on level 3, which is organized. If the unit's system is in place for periodic checking of environmental compliances and more than 90% actions taken on variances, then the unit is marked on level 4, which is the achiever. And lastly, if the environmental metrics show improvement and are beyond regulatory norms and the mechanism for their monitoring, measurement and continual improvement are in place, along with regular environmental audits which are being carried out, and then the unit is marked on level 5, which is world class. Now let us study an example of an outcome parameter, safety score. This is a parameter which comes under the outcome for overall company performance and assesses the performance of the unit with respect to the outcome of its safety policies. If the measurement of safety parameter, such as man-hours lost, near misses, disability and fatality is not being done, then the unit will be leveled at level 1, which is struggler. If there is 10% decrease in man-hours lost due to accidents with reference to last year and corrective action on accidents reported have been taken, then the unit is marked on level 2, which is beginner. If no fatal accidents on temporary disabilities in the last 1 year and there is 20% decrease in man-hours lost due to accidents with reference to last year, along with action on all near misses reported have been taken and implemented, then the unit is marked on level 3, which is organized. If no fatality or temporary disability over the last 3 years and the man-hours lost due to industrial accidents is less than 0.1%, then the unit is marked on level 4, which is achiever. And finally, if no fatality or permanent disability over the last 3 years, 0 hour lost due to industry accidents, then the unit will be marked on level 5, which is world class. The ZED Maturity Assessment Model is a dynamic model as compared to a standard and encompasses requirements of various standards like quality and environment management systems. It also encompasses various tools like lean manufacturing, 5S, Kaizen, supply chain management, energy conservation, etc. into one scheme that can then be used to measure the rating of a system or process. ZED will also provide an opportunity to fully comply with existing regulatory requirements. An MSME's journey of zero defect, zero effect manufacturing is explained in the following 7 steps. 1. The MSME has to first register online on www.zed.org.in. This simple step expresses an MSME's intent to participate in the ZED scheme. The MSME must have a working email ID and a mobile phone to start the registration process. A ZED ID will be allotted to you after completing the registration. The next step is a self-assessment, which an MSME will take using the ZED ID provided after registration. This is an online activity where the MSME will be assisted on the ZED parameters through simple questions and a choice of answers. It may be noted that the MSME may be asked to upload relevant documents as evidence to the answers chosen. After the online self-assessment, Quality Council of India will assess and evaluate answers and documents submitted by the MSME and come out with a preliminary rating based on answers and evidences provided. This is known as desktop assessment. The rating after the desktop assessment will determine whether the MSME proceeds further in the process. 4. If the MSME is selected to proceed further after the desktop assessment, a ZED-certified assessor from an accredited rating agency will be appointed to conduct a physical assessment of the manufacturing unit of the MSME. This site assessment will be done on the parameters selected by the MSME during the online self-assessment stage. The site assessment process typically takes 4 man-days. 5. Once the site assessment is completed and the final report is submitted by the assessor, a Z rating and a certificate is issued to successful MSMEs. It may be noted that no certificate is issued to MSME which fail to qualify for any rating. That is, those MSMEs who achieve a score of 2.2 or below. A certification is valid for 4 years, after which the certification expires and the unit will have to apply again for renewal. 6. The MSMEs with a minimum bronze rating will have the option to avail the services of a Z certified consultant. This consultant will assist the unit in implementation of interventions that is aimed at improving the rating of that unit. The NMIU will allocate the consultant to the MSME and the hand-holding process will typically take 6 months. 7. The MSME, which has gone through the process of consulting by a Z certified consultant, will have the option to apply for a reassessment if it feels that the unit's systems and processes have considerably improved. It may be noted that the subsidy applicable in the reassessment process will only be provided if the rating improves by 1 level, that is, from bronze to silver or silver to gold, etc. An MSME can even opt for reassessment without going through the process of consulting, provided there is a gap of minimum 6 months between the earlier site assessment. There will be 2 on-site surveillance assessments after an MSME is given certification before the 4-year validity expires. Benefits of Z rating for MSMEs. Credible recognition for international investors seeking investment in India. Part of supply chain of national and international OEMs.
The whole initiative of Z has actually helped us in preparing better for facing those assessments and being successful in them. And I'm sure with these investments that we are making on account of the Z process in India would help us in acquiring a lot more business in the international market.
Streamline operations and lower costs. Superior quality, reduced rejection and higher revenues.
There was a consultant of the expert who the team came to us and had some sessions, a diagnostic study, and then precipitated the findings, and then they did the hand-holding session, how to improve on what is the real understanding those parameters.
Increased environmental consciousness and social benefits.
Earlier we didn't bother too much whether it was a ROHS or a non-ROHS component. But during the assessment, it became clear to us that this must be our focus area to take care of the environmental footprint we create as a result of non-usage of ROHS component.
The Z mark to enable an MSME to be seen as a company with a difference.
इतने सालों से मैं क्वालिटी में काम कर रहा हूं और अभी तक जितने भी क्वालिटी में कंसेप्ट्स आए हैं और जिनके ऊपर हमने काम किया है, बीट 6 सिग्मा, बीट काइजन, बीट ISO और TQM, ये सारे कंसेप्ट हमारे इंडिया से बाहर से आए हैं. बट आई एम वेरी मच हैप्पी कि जेड एक कंसेप्ट आया है, जीरो डिफेक्ट, जीरो इफेक्ट, जो प्योरली इंडियन है एंड विच रियली रिप्रेजेंट मेक इन इंडिया इफेक्ट. और जिसके साथ काम करके मुझे खुद लग रहा है कि मेरा ये अपना एक तरह से अपना स्लोगन है, अपना कंसेप्ट है. मैं इस पर काम करूँगा तो मेरी कंट्री को काफ़ी फ़ायदा होगा.
The Ministry of MSME will provide a subsidy of 80% to micro enterprises, 60% to small enterprises, and 50% to medium enterprises. An additional 5% subsidy shall be extended to MSMEs owned by SC, STs, and women, and MSMEs located in Northeastern region and Jammu and Kashmir. The total subsidized cost for assessment and certification to be paid by micro enterprises is 18,000 rupees. For small enterprises is 36,000 rupees, and for medium enterprises is 45,000 rupees. The additional defense rating cost for assessment and certification is 8,000 rupees for micro enterprises, 16,000 rupees for small enterprises, and 20,000 rupees for medium enterprises. The subsidized cost for consulting, which is an optional feature, is 38,000 rupees for micro enterprises, 76,000 rupees for small enterprises and 95,000 rupees for medium enterprises. An MSME has the option to go for a reassessment at the cost of 8,000 rupees for micro enterprises, 16,000 rupees for small enterprises and 20,000 rupees for medium enterprises. An MSME can register on ZED through a simple process. Log on to www.zed.org.in and click on the online registration button. Then register with the email ID and an Indian mobile number. And lastly, complete registration by entering the OTP received on the mobile. The MSME will receive a ZED ID through email, which will be used in future ZED processes and communications.
Let's work together and accept this challenge to bring about a change of thoughts and mindset and prepare our country for the future. A change that will transform the perception of the Indian industry in the world. ZED, the change begins.